Hey there everybody, Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Best to Worst Albums. Today we're going to look at that highly influential heavy metal, hard rock, power pop band from New Jersey, however you want to kind of label them, Starz. Now these guys were really only a recording entity for 2 years, from 76 to 78, and released 4 studio albums, but boy, have they been cited by a lot of bands, specifically like 80s hard rock and metal bands, as being like one of the most influential of the 70s. And they've got a really, really strong cult following, despite the fact that they were never really a huge band as far as like record sales or, big selling tours or anything like that. But their impact has certainly resonated all these years later in so many bands, and they have a lot of loyal fans. So we're going to take a look at the 4 albums that they released on Capitol Records, and I'm going to go from, in my opinion, my least favorite of the 4 to my favorite. So we're going to start off with the worst, and I think, there's a big difference between this one here and the 3 that are going to follow it. And this is actually their 3rd album, which quite different in the catalog. I'm talking about Attention Shoppers. I think the record company, Capitol Records at the time, probably really wanted the band, because again, they were not a big selling band, wanted them to kind of get a little bit more of a commercial sound and go for some hit singles, which, there's more kind of, this album, I think, out of the 4 is probably their pure power pop album. Not unlike, I don't know, some of the stuff that Cheap Trick was doing maybe at the time. Good songs. Definitely, like, the guitar playing is less heavy, less in-your-face guitar riffs, more emphasis on vocals and hooks, and good ones. But just, like, for me, this album is kind of light, despite there being a lot of good songs on here, and I just think it really pales in comparison to the other 3 that we're going to talk about. But some, really good songs on here. Waiting on You is good. What do we got on here? X-Ray Specs is kind of a fun tune, as weird as it is. Hold On to the Night. Johnny All Alone's a good tune. Some good tunes, just not as hard-hitting as the other albums in their catalog. Coming up next, they're actually their last album, which I think for me was a return to their earlier sound. We're talking about Coliseum Rock from 1978. In fact, both of these albums are from 1978. Okay, like I said, 2 years and they were done. 4 albums in 2 years. This is a very good album. Good hard rocking album, but still a lot of hooks. I think that's the one thing that kind of set Starz apart from some of their contemporaries. Like you look at like a band like Angel, okay, who had, really good songs, a lot of progressive rock tendencies, did a lot of things different instrumentally speaking, and it had a lot of good songs, memorable songs with hooks, but I think that Starz were all about the hooks. A lot of really great, memorable sing-along tunes, but they packed it within, like, hard rockin' frameworks. And I think this album very successful as far as doing all that, and I think a difference in kind of the heavy meter as opposed to this one. So this one's going to come in as my 3rd favorite of all of them. And some really good anthems on here as well. No Regrets is great. So Young, So Bad I like a lot. Title track is really cool. Got some great guitar work from Richie Rano on there. It's a Riot. Great stuff on here. I like that album a lot. Okay, my 2nd favorite of the Starz catalog is their 2nd album, Violation. This in the debut, probably for most people, the best of the Starz catalog, and obviously for me as well. Here, I think their biggest hit, if I'm not mistaken, is the tune off of this album, which is Cherry Baby. Probably the most commercial tune out of everything on this album. But, Rock 6 Times, Sing It, Shout It. The title track, Violation, is great. All Night Long, Cool One. Is That a Streetlight or the Moon? Some, pretty heavy album, but again, they still delivering all those hooks. And I think this album is probably a little more polished than the debut, although I like the debut the best, obviously, because I just think it's their heaviest album. And I think the guitar crunch, the way the guitar was produced on this album, really in your face. Some great riffing going on this album. And a lot of really good tunes. Detroit Girls, obviously, is a great tune. What else do we got here? So many great songs. I'm just looking at every song on this album. It's just so strong. Monkey Business. Ugh. Pull the plug. Man, tear it down, just top to bottom. The self-titled Starz debut is just a really, really strong and heavy album. This is definitely, if you look at their 4 albums, this is definitely the one that qualifies as a metal album. You know, as much as metal can be in 1976, right, which is when this came out. Really good production. And, you know, you can get all these on, you know, contact Richie directly, Richie Rano, the guitar player. He'll sell you all of them for a good deal. And, you know, it's a shame that the band never quite hit the success. You know, if you listen, especially like the second album, you can hear little bits of Kiss and like maybe latter day Grand Funk Railroad on there. Very accessible hard rock. And you listen to these albums, you're like, God, why was this band not huge, right? A lot of reasons for that, which I won't get into. But a good band that has really stood the test of time. And if you get a chance, they're going out on the road, touring with Angel here in the U.S., starting in a couple months. So be sure to check that out. So that's it. Best to worst albums from Starz. My favorite, my second favorite, my third favorite, and my least favorite. Although I still like this one too, but I think the others are better. So the world of Starz, according to me. So got more of these type of shows coming up. We got some top 10 song shows coming up again. Like I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, going to be a little bit of a slow week. I'm away on a business trip, so I'm really not going to be doing much of anything probably till the weekend. So in the meantime, check out all the stuff in the library. Go into our playlist. Look at all the good old videos we got on there. And also visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube as often as possibly possible. So take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you real soon.